Ducati's brand new and updated 7th generation Panigale V4 has just been unveiled, and we've got our first real good look at all the changes. So in today's video, we're going to go over everything you need to know about what's changed with Ducati's new top spec Super Sports. G'day, I'm Kwackajack and welcome back to the channel. Now, not that long ago, we took the previous generation V4 out for a first ride and review here on the channel, and it was an absolutely stunning bike. Beautiful, bold, and scary all at once. I described it as a fire-breathing monster that held so much presence on the road and was a real event to ride. It's been a very successful bike too, both on track and with customers. So it means that this upcoming 7th gen has definitely got its work cut out for it. Ducati themselves are claiming that the intent behind the changes on this bike are not only to make the bike the best looking on the road, which arguably the previous one was, but also the best performing and cleverest. So firstly, we have been given two models of the bike. We've got the standard V4 and the top spec, more expensive V4S. Now, as you'd expect, there are a lot of changes between this and the older generation, and the biggest one is going to be the styling. It has an eye-catching new front-end look, including fully integrated aero for the first time on a Ducati, instead of the usual tacked-on winglets. You've also got revised headlights and intake positions, which flow back to the noticeably new side fairings. There are larger vents on the sides too. The theme here seems to be all about aerodynamics, so it's not only about how fast they can get it to cut through the air, but also about how much downforce they can produce. They claim that the new front end will result in a 17% improvement in cooling efficiency too, which would be a welcome addition. On the one that I rode, my inner thighs were medium well by the time I got off, and the heat that these bikes produce is immense. The other big change that you'll see straight away is that we've gone from the iconic single-sided swing arm to now being a double. Again, all of these changes are there to make it better handling, and I'm sure that this thing will absolutely rip. But it is sad to see that single-sided go. Overall, I do like the styling of the 7th generation, but don't think it's as iconic as the previous. That thing is truly one of the best looking bikes I've ever seen in the flesh. And I know that those new front winglets are going to help with the aero, but all I can see is... But what else is new? Well, the motor has had a slight bump in power, now going all the way up to 121 Newton meters of torque and 216 horsepower, or 228 if you go for the race-only Acra exhaust. It's also lighter, thanks to some revised materials and new cams, which helps bring the overall weight down to only 187 kilograms for the S and 191 kilograms for the standard sitting on the road. So it's more powerful and lighter than the outgoing model, and it now actually holds the title of best power to weight ratio in the class. The tank has also been heavily modified to focus more now on contact points for the knees of the rider, which should help to give grip under braking and through the corners. So it seems they're not only focusing on getting it to be the best performing bike, but also easier to use that performance on the road. There is a new chassis with the aforementioned double-sided swing arm and frame being heavily revised to try and help with how the bike performs in the twisty bits. Cornering feel and ability has been a big focus here too, and Ducati claims that this new bike can achieve a crazy lean angle of 63 degrees. They already had class-leading electronics, but here it's had a whole bunch of updates. Their Ducati Vehicle Observer, or DVO, now includes predictive traction, wheelie, and launch control. That apparently uses 70 channels of onboard data being logged by the onboard data logger. The Quick Shifter 2.0 should provide more succinct, quicker shifts, and the Bosch ECBS linked brakes are tuned to help reduce braking distance and help initiate turns. If I listed all of the inclusions on this bike's onboard system, we'd be here all day, but rest assured, this thing is fully stocked. The brakes are also class leading with top spec Brembos, helping to ensure you can come to a stop just as fast as you can take off. So obviously there's been a huge focus on making the new Panigale V4 the most potent Ducati superbike to date. It was said that all of these improvements are good enough for a 1% improvement on lap times, which might not sound like much, but at this level of competition, is huge. They haven't forgotten to include some of the creature comforts that you'd expect on a bike of this level too, with things like turn-by-turn navigation, cruise control, USB charging, and tire pressure monitoring being included as standard here. So it's the fastest, smartest, and apparently best handling top spec bike Ducati have ever given us. So I guess the real question is, how much is it going to cost? Well, in short, a lot. For the standard V4 here in Oz, you're looking at $38,800 right away, and if you upgrade to the S model to get the top spec Öhlins suspension, you'll be forking out a whopping $49,300. So a suitably crazy price for a suitably crazy bike. But there you have it, the 2025 Ducati Panigale V4. What are your thoughts? Would you have one? Having ridden and reviewed the current generation, I can say that I am excited to see these new guys in the flesh. I do think the current ones have the better styling, it's just more iconic, but I'm still excited to see these things hit the streets nonetheless. But thanks again for watching, guys. Until next time, see ya.